Page residents upset over distance of shelters as hurricane approaches. With Hurricane Melissa approaching, residents of the fishing village of Page in St. Mary are preparing to relocate to emergency shelters. However, many are frustrated that the nearest shelter is located several kilometers away in Trinity. We used to use Kirk Church up the hill and near to us. Now we have to be searching somewhere else to go. Now I hear that it's Trinity Primary School, said Barrington, a resident of the community. Although Barrington planned to stay with a friend instead of going to the shelter, he expressed concern for others in the community, particularly the elderly and the sick, who may struggle to make the journey. They will have to pay for a car to take them up with money that they don't have, or worse, stay home and get flooded out, he said, as he rushed to a section of the community which still had electricity to get his phone charged. Few live in flood-prone Port Royal, other areas as Hurricane Melissa looms. Residents in the flood-prone coastal town of Port Royal in Kingston and other communities have once again ignored authorities' attempt to relocate them ahead of Hurricane Melissa. The hurricane is expected to bring heavy rainfall, storm surge, and widespread life-threatening flood to southern coastal areas. At midday on Sunday, Margaret Park, 62, was the sole person seated inside a bus that has been parked in the community for nearly 2 hours, according to the driver. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company (JTC) bus was provided by authorities to transport residents out of the community. Parks, more widely known as Shine, said she opted to leave her home because of medical condition that triggers panic attacks. And when I become anxious, I get panic attacks, she said, adding that she is going to stay with her daughter in a nearby community. I have all my medications with me, but what I don't want is to have a panic attack and I'm not in a position to reach the hospital, she added. Parks acknowledged that if she did not have the medical condition, she would have made the same decision as other residents to remain in the community. Nobody now leave Port Royal. If I wasn't feeling this way, I wouldn't leave, she stated. Minister of Local Government Desmond Mackenzie urged residents in low-lying and flood-prone areas to evacuate immediately. Speaking ahead of the storm, he warned that many communities may not survive the expected flooding. It is going to be impossible for us, after all the attempts that we have been making, for us to say to our first responders, go out and risk your life, Mackenzie noted. He noted that all 881 shelters across the country have been activated to provide safe relocation options. Transport Minister Darrell Valls said the state-owned bus company has received 4 evacuation calls since Saturday, but he lamented that there has been a low make-up in some vulnerable communities. He said residents in Flagaman in coastal St. Elizabeth have refused to board the buses. He said only 10 persons left on a bus that was sent to Old Harbour Bay in St. Catherine. He said it's similar low take-up in Port Royal and Raytown fishing communities in Kingston. We have deployed our resources and are awaiting board. We actually have buses on spot in our park, waiting to evacuate, and the response is not there, he said at the news conference. Voss said the GATC has indicated that it is running limited operations but will likely cease operation mid-afternoon should there be rising water levels, low visibility, and of course, the weather coming closer. Jamaica's senior meteorologist Evan Thompson said Hurricane Melissa is likely to cause severe flooding in southern coastal areas including Port Royal and Portmore. He warned that waves could reach up to 13 feet, with heavy rainfall expected to exceed 30 inches in parts of eastern and south-central Jamaica. There is a model that is indicating the level of storm surge that is expected. Portmore is within the area that storm surge would be expected because it would be east of the center of the system when it makes landfall, Thompson noted. Authorities continue to urge residents to take the threat seriously and relocate to safer areas as preparations for Hurricane Melissa continues. JPS says land workers ready to respond to Hurricane Melissa. Additional overseas support being contemplated. The Jamaica Public Service says 71 overseas land workers are on standby to respond to the hurricane when it is safe to do so. Chief Executive Officer and President of JPSU Grant made this statement during a press briefing. He said more than 30% of its workforce has been augmented. He said the company is contemplating bringing in additional resources to respond to Hurricane Melissa.
Here at JPS, one of the significant changes that we made is that we have retainer contracts with overseas line workers to have boots on the ground prior to the storm. We have executed on that, and I'm pleased to say right now we have 71 line workers. More than 30% of our workforce have been augmented with boots on the ground that stand ready to safely respond to the hurricane once it's safe to do so. The other thing that we did is, through shared practices, we have had an incident command structure whereby we have daily check-ins with each other to understand what are the critical facilities in our various spaces and how we prioritize the restoration of those facilities so as a block we can provide the essential services that you're all depending on. As we stand now, we're also looking at further preparations to potentially bring in additional resources and barge or fly equipment in, such as bucket trucks, crane trucks, and other equipment that may be required if there is extensive damage on our grid to facilitate safe and timely response. We understand what it means to not have our services. Many of our own personnel live within our service territory. We understand the critical nature and the inconvenience that could be caused. We, however, ask for your patience, and we reassure you that we will stand united to provide you with updates as we execute on our response plans based on our heightened level of preparedness, and as we stand in strong partnerships with our government agencies and others to facilitate our response.
Most generators are useless, says electrical engineer. An electrical engineer is warning consumers that not all generators are created equal, and many of the smaller, cheaper ones being bought are practically useless for home use. Anything under 3,000 watt hardly makes sense, Chaval Porter told reporters. If your generator cannot manage even one refrigerator, it's a waste of money, trust me. While some persons believe a small generator can keep basic items running, the reality is that most appliances, refrigerators, washing machines, and even some water pumps require significant wattage to operate efficiently. For example, a refrigerator alone may need about 1,200 to 2,000 watts at startup. That means a 1,000 watt generator will struggle or fail entirely. But this wattage also depends on the specification of the refrigerator. For those serious about reliable backup power, the recommendation is to purchase a generator rated at 3,000 watts or higher. Prices there are typically range from $120,000 to $180,000, depending on the brand, fuel type, and features. There are three main types of generators available, Porter explained. You have diesel-powered, regular gas, and LNG, also known as cooking gas generators, he noted. Diesel-powered is known for durability and efficiency, but is often louder. Gasoline-powered the more common and easier to source fluid for, while LNG are cleaner but less common. However, Porter explained that owning a powerful generator is not enough. How you use it matters just as much. One often overlooked hazard is the extension cord or drop card. Many people use small, cheap cards that heat up quickly, he warned. That can cause breaking, feeding, or even ignite a fire. Don't use these Chinese extension cards. Invest in durable, heavy-duty ones rated for high power. As for solar generators, while they sound appealing, they may not be practical during Jamaica's rainy and stormy season. The sun hardly comes out during these times, Porter added, so what are go charged? For those preparing for hurricane season or prolonged blackout, the advice is clear. Choose a generator that can handle your household actual needs, use the right cards, and understand the type of fluid and maintenance required. Cutting corners on power backup costs far more than saving you make upfront. Several appliance stores have confirmed that their generator stocks ranging from 1,000 watt upwards have been sold out by Friday. I could not stand the heat during and after burial, Roxanne McPherson shared, so I decided wherever I must find the money, I will find it. I only need my fan running, my phone, and my daughter's tablet charged. I have tin food, so not really concerned about the refrigerator. to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.